Hello and welcome back to the Atrium on your Packer LinkUp. Today is Thursday, December 11th, and we are in mourning in Packer land. The woes continue, Packers being all but eliminated from playoff contention with another big loss this week, this time against the expansion Houston Texans, who are not a bad team, but certainly a team that at Lambeau, in cold weather, in December, Green Bay Packers fans fought that we would go ahead and beat. It did not happen. We had plenty of yardage. We had turnovers, but we just could not get enough points on the board. The Houston Texans with 450 yards of offense or something like this. This is getting just ridiculous. So I want a few notes before we really get started. I do have, in case you are listening to this and you did not hear Miss Murder as our intro music, you're probably listening to it on YouTube, and the reason for that is somebody flagged us on YouTube. So whoever you are, naughty, nasty person. No, they're just trying to keep things straight up over there, and so we totally understand, and went ahead and just went without the music on the opening line there. And if you are listening to it elsewhere, however, you may still hear Miss Murder. So until further notice, we will continue to use it where we can. But we hope you enjoy the show. The season is fast coming to a close. It's December now. Our team cannot seem to even get together a win in December at Lambeau. Looks like this is not a team that's going to the playoffs. Still mathematically not out, but if they did back into the playoffs, most of us would think this is a team that did not belong and did not deserve to be there, and I am one of those. I don't understand why. Actually, I mean, I have my theories as to why, but all in all, when you look at the coaching staff, you look at the general manager, you look at the offense, defense, the special teams, this was a team that, for all intents and purposes, should have been fairly good. The last season, of course, 13-3, but they won a lot of close games. Obviously, those games didn't go our way this year. You can blame it on the quarterback, you can blame it on the coaching staff, you can blame it on the injuries. There is plenty of blame to go around, but I think at this point in the season, I'm reading this in a lot of the Packer blogs and Packer journals and news articles that are coming out are finally coming around to the fact that I think heads are going to have to roll. If nothing else, there has got to be some accountability in the higher up, the upper echelon of the Packer organization. This is now Ted Thompson's team. This is now Mike McCarthy's team. Whether it goes well, when it goes well, they deserve credit for that. When it goes poorly, they deserve blame. And not that I like to just point fingers, and that's actually not what this podcast is about. So if you're tired of the negativity, hang in there, because it's going to get positive in a minute. I do have something I want to talk about, but this has got to stop. We need an offensive line that can compete. We do not have it. We may lose Mark Tauscher. He's out for the season. Chad Clifton looks like he's kind of on his last legs. He's an old dog, and as far as the zone blocking scheme, has not seemed to really take on any new tricks. He's good in the pass protection, and that, with just his age, and it's getting more and more difficult, the speed of these outside rushers, for him to compete. But overall, and I don't even think those guys, they were maybe the problem this year, but they've been solid for so many years. Our problem is we've brought in youthful talent, and they have not developed, they have not shown themselves to be good players. Our offensive line is just not good enough. It's got to change. Aaron Rodgers, as good as his stats look, has not proved he can win the game when we need it, when we need the team, him to take the team on his shoulders. He's going to have to prove that, but again, he's played well oftentimes. He's had high completion percentage, high passer ratings, but we've got to win games, and he's going to find out very quickly that this team, Green Bay Packers, and this league, the NFL, is about winning, winning, winning. That's what it's about. And whether it comes down to him or someone else, hey, you know, he's sitting there with a great big contract, just like Ryan Grant sitting there with a great big contract. It's time for these guys to earn their money. And this is not the kind of league where you can go out, get yourself a big contract, and then just sort of roller coaster ride your way into the sunset. It doesn't work that way. We saw that with Kabir Baja-Biamila this year, and although I never questioned, I never would say that KGB coasted. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, even if you're given the big contract and you're a big-time player, if you don't perform, you can be cut. Although that goes back to this team's apparent ability, I don't know that propensity is a better word, to marry themselves to players. Ted Thompson and Mike McCarthy have married themselves to Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Grant, some of these guys, and I just don't know if they are going to be objective enough to make the right decisions down the road if they need to be made. Now, it's not time for those. It's not time for big player changes, except for the offensive line going out in free agency and improving this team, because this team is not good enough. But it's not time to go crazy. I'm not saying cut some guy, cut a first-year starter like Aaron Rodgers, who played very well for most of the year, has not sort of improved the way we'd like to see him. He's not taken that next step of being able to carry the team on his shoulders when needed. But it's not time for that. It may be, however, and Ted Thompson and Mike McCarthy have to be ready for that possibility in the future. So, not looking good right now, but I do want to talk about one positive thing, and it's always good to find a positive in everything. We tried to do it when Brett Favre had that 4-12 year, and they came back and went 8-8 and then went 13-3. So we are hoping for something like that. But what I want to talk about in a positive light is the fact that, and this is one thing I have railed against all season as being an excuse, but I am going to bring it up because it's about the only positive thing I can think of right now, and that is that this is the youngest team in the league. So, not that that means we should not be playing better than we have been. We should be. But what that means is there doesn't have to be a lot of major change if we can bring in some competition in the off season and improve this team, not just from within. I hope that we don't hear that Kool-Aid line again. It's like, stir me up a pitcher, Mom. I just want something sweet that goes down easy. Competition from within, improve from within. You've got to improve from wherever improvement can come, wherever the most improvement can possibly come. Get your fingers in it, dip your toes in it, whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft, whether it's trading up in the draft or trading down in the draft. You have to improve regardless of where. I don't want to hear that Kool-Aid line again this offseason, improving from within, because we've tried that for years, and this year proved it does not always work. You've got to work all the angles, okay? I don't want to get on another tirade, not another soapbox, but I am saying that because this team is so young, I think they'll be resilient. I think with a few acquisitions, some draft picks, some competition, with Aaron Rodgers having another year to just sit and study film and figure out what he did wrong, throwing interceptions in the last 2 minutes instead of touchdowns. This team can be very good. Our defense can be good. Our special teams showed flashes this season of being incredible. So our offense, obviously, we have a lot of weapons, probably more so than even on the defense. So go ahead and hope. That's my message today for you Atrium listeners. Go ahead and hope. I'm sorry that it's probably hope for next season. I don't think even at this point we can make enough corrections to right the ship if we were to back into the playoffs. But stick with the Green Bay Packers. Always faithful, like the Marine line. Semper Fidelis, we're always faithful. We're Packers fans. And here on the Atrium, we will always find something to cheer for about our Packer team. Excuse me. So for now, that's all. Until next time, I may be able to get another one out before the next game, but I'm not sure the way this weekend is looking. So, as always, we say here on the Atrium, go Pack.